Hello, today is June 8th, 2020, and the time is 12:51 p.m. This video is just going to be, I guess you can call it a personal vlog. There are some people on this platform and other platforms that just simply talk about their life or whatever their hobbies are or anything. I would guess most people don't talk about who they are, what they're going through, how they're feeling, and their viewers don't know anything about them, only what they say. So I'd like to share something that's been on my mind for several months now, and I talked about this in real time about 3 months ago, back in January and so forth. And I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around some information that was made known to me and then confirmed in January. And that's surviving being aborted. And apparently it took doctors 45 minutes to bring me to life. And I've talked about this to a few friends over the past few months, and just trying to wrap my head around that. So when you think about parents, mother and father, it's usually having a kid, having a baby is, they wanted it and they're happy and joyful and everything else. And I suppose realizing my coming into the world, I wasn't wanted, really, I don't know, changes my perspective about myself, maybe. And it's just something, I don't know, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. And then compound that to all the injustices and wrongdoings that I've had to deal with throughout my life. And this is not a woe is me video, or I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me or anything. I can only speak about my own life and my own experiences. And I'm not saying my life is better or worse than anyone else's. There's people out there, I would say, that have had worse, maybe, I don't know. But I see a lot of the injustices and everything that I've had to personally experience throughout my whole life. And I wonder why I'm even here. And I used to say that I wish I never came out of the water, and that was before it was confirmed to me that I survived being aborted. And now I wish the doctors and everyone never spent 45 minutes. Anyway, it's just really got me thinking, especially after everything I've been through for the past 7 years, and then having to deal with the aftermath of that, and now with this alleged COVID virus outbreak, whatever you want to call it. A lot of time to think. I look back, so I survived being aborted, and then I had a lot of physical and psychological and even sexual abuse. Sexual abuse was mostly by women. I drowned when I was around 5, maybe even 6 years old. Died, came back. And then used to get shipped around a lot when I was a kid. My mother used to send me to different places to live for months on end. And when I was around 12 years old, I drowned again. And I was under the water long enough that the people who were trying to look for me had given up, and I bobbed out of the water. I talk about all this in other videos. And there's other times that as a descriptive, escape death, and I'm still here. I'm tired of people saying, oh, well, you're here for a reason. And then I survived being deliberately poisoned. I ended up in the hospital, bleeding from every orifice. And I concluded this past January that it had to do with a large sum of money that was in trust for me, which ended up getting stolen from me by using my signature. I was only a teenager when I signed a blank document. And I worked hard all my life to accomplish things. And I always bounce back. I had a hard time. I left my career in law around 2009, and that's a story in itself. And then I had, back in '99, my wife as a descriptive going missing, and 2011 I learned that she was okay. And then this past January, finding a 21-year-old letter that was never read until 21 years later by me, and having to deal with that, the contents of that letter. And again, I share all this in other videos and screenshots. Came out west to start a new life, new career, falsely accused by a female, and then that escalated by 2 former officers making their own false accusations and assumptions or whatever, and that whole event has left me partly crippled, dealing with post-traumatic stress. And in the end, after 7 years of fighting for truth and justice and whistleblowing about police, judicial, and political corruption, left destitute. When I look back on my life, all the hardships and everything I had to endure, I almost bounced back. And then just when I thought, okay, let's try to salvage what's left of my life, which is not much, because now I have a criminal record, I'm crippled, and this COVID nonsense shuts down the world. Hollywood, from my perspective, couldn't write a better script. So I just feel worn out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bounce back this time. I'm in my 50s now, and I'm just tired of it. And you look at all this social justice nonsense and all these busybodies, and it's these busybodies that destroy lives more than anything. It doesn't matter about what race, if you're black or white or anything. It's busybodies, glorified busybodies, who are imposing all the unnecessary hardships, destroying lives. But anyway, I don't want to go off on that tangent. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what I've been going through over the past 2-3 months or so, and share how I've been feeling. So yeah, this is just behind the scenes who I am. And it takes a lot of effort sometimes to not show my emotional side with my videos, although there are some videos where I do share the worst of the worst of how all this has impacted me emotionally, especially over the years when things were happening in real time. The post-traumatic stress off the charts. and then the world shuts down, and just been trying to figure out how to get out of the situation that has been imposed on me. It's like, I don't know, I don't see a way out of this. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well. And as I've said in other videos, what has kept me going is actually my positive attitude. And even people who actually know me in real life, you know, they see, they understand, and they do see from time to time what I'm sharing here. But, you know, they see me more positive, more upbeat, more determined. But I do have my moments where it's not like that, and I'm not the only person. And sharing this, as I said in other videos, shows other people who haven't experienced real world injustice what people who have experienced. Like, you hear, for example, people who have been incarcerated, wrongfully incarcerated for 20 years because of a false accusation or whatever, and they're released, and, you know, they're happy and everything else. But you don't see them on their downtime, when they're not in the limelight, when they're sitting alone, how they're feeling, what they're going through. There's no magic that just automatically turns it all off. And for those of you who have experienced real injustice or anything, then you understand what I'm saying. But for most of you who haven't, then, you know, this is reality. And reality sucks. And that's why a lot of people turn to online videos and stuff for entertainment, or they join social groups on online platforms for a place to vent. And a lot of the venting that I see people doing, I'm just shaking my head going, really? This is what you got to vent about? But anyway, and I'm not demeaning these people, I'm just saying. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.